Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. I'm your host, Kira Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental A-Team Podcast. Hello, Dental A-Team listeners. This is Kira, and you guys, I am so honored and thrilled to be having one of my favorite people on our podcast today. I have read her book, Your Marketing is Killing Your Business. I love her. I love what she's done. She's helped us with marketing in Dental A-Team. You guys know marketing's my Achilles heel, so I am always jazzed to bring someone on here who is way smarter at it, way better at it, and is also in the dental field. So I'm so honored to welcome Manal Sampat. She is amazing. So Manal, how are you today?
I am doing fabulous. Wow, what an introduction. And by the way, I love you guys. You guys are super awesome. And don't fall yourself short. You are doing amazing with everything that you're doing. So cheers to you.
Well, thank you for that. I always feel very, I guess, just dumb when it comes to marketing because I'm like, there's the marketing side and there's branding. And then we've got our social media marketing. And then we have network marketing. And then we have pay-per-click and SEO marketing. And I just thought, it was all marketing. It's kind of like, I'm sure people are like, well, it's just a car. No, there's Toyota and Honda. And then you get up to Lamborghini and then you have your McLaren. Like, that's how I feel marketing is for me. I'm like, no, it's just all marketing. So Manal, I gave a very minimal introduction. Kind of give us your background, your history, how you got into marketing. I'm sure everybody would love to hear. I love your story. So share away.
Oh, well, thank you. In a nutshell, I am a dental hygienist. I am a marketing strategist, social media coach, author, speaker, and I guess my favorite thing is I'm an enthusiastic shoe lover. You know,
Ooh,
so
same.
if we can just right,
shoes are not just shoes.
About shoes.
Shoes are not just shoes.
But no, I grew up in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. I was born in India. I grew up in the Virgin Islands. I lived in New Jersey. That's where I went to college. Met my husband, and then just in 2017, my husband and I moved to Washington State. So currently, we live in Washington State, surrounded by vineyards, so it's not a bad life. You know, it's pretty good.
That is a pretty great one. I love it.
And then when I was in college at Rutgers, I was a pre-dental student. So I was studying biology and communication. Part of being a pre-dental student was that you have to shadow a dental practice.
Mm-hmm.
That was just a part of one of the clubs I belonged to. So remember, I grew up in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, so I didn't have family or friends or anybody, you know, in New Jersey. So I remember like putting my resume together and faxing it. Remember the days of fax?
Hey, some people still get fax backs, and I'm like, guys, there's this really cool thing called Metro Fax or other faxings out there. It will literally email to you. You do not ever have to do a fax machine and another phone line. Okay, but you know, faxes. Okay, so you faxed it over.
I faxed it over to all these dental practices, and then this pediatric orthodontic dental practice gives me a call and says, come on in and shadow us. So I was like, great, I got it. I got a dental practice that wants to shadow me and looked at my fax that I sent over. So I go there, I shadow them for like 3 or 4 weeks. It was a pretty long shadowing time. And while I was leaving, they offered me a job to work there, but I was already working 2 jobs at college and having a full schedule. So I said, you know what, I will let you guys know. Well, I had the wonderful luck of graduating in 2008.
Welcome to 2008.
Welcome to 2008, right? And I remember because I just told my dad that I'm putting going to dental school on a hold. I'd taken my DATs, and I'm like, I just don't know if I want to go to dental school. I really, really love communication and marketing, and I really want to try to do this stuff. I just convinced my father that I'm going to take this break. If you can imagine the stereotypes of an East Indian family and telling them you're no longer.
Like, how did that actually go over?
Yeah, not so well, you know. So I was, and clearly it was 2008. So I remember trying to call all my connections, all the networking, trying to get a job, trying to be a big girl with, you know, something or the other going on. And this dental practice, I called them up. And the office manager tells me, you know what, we're not hiring anybody. We have 60 people working here. It's 2008. Like, more than, we don't need to hire somebody, but come on in at noon. And I knew that noon was their lunchtime. So I was like, great, never miss a networking opportunity, right? Like that's rule 101. You always go. So I show up expecting to have lunch with the doctors. Well, the next thing I know, I'm being interviewed by the office manager. And then the next thing I know is the owner of the practice comes in and he says, we have no idea what you're going to do here, but we just like you. We like you. We like your energy. We like your drive. So we are just going to hire you and we will just see where you fit in. So, it just happened that I was in the right place at the right time with the people that I was able to connect with. They hired me. I was trained from everywhere, from welcome desk to scheduling to insurance to being a lab tech to cleaning the instruments to helping with assisting. And then I took over marketing because that's what I studied and that's what I wanted to do. Well, one thing led to the next. The numbers doubled, and he's a very well-known person and a speaker in the industry. So they asked him to come and speak on marketing, and he said, well, I don't do it, she does. So he put me on the stage, and 2013 I launched my first marketing company by breaking a Guinness World Record, and here we are in 2021. It's crazy how time goes.
It's crazy. Are you an office that actually has your operations manual done? Okay, high five. Most offices do not even have this thing completed. And if they do, they're not even maximizing it or utilizing it. So guys, we're putting on a free, you heard right, free 6 CE credits event on September 17th. Join us, guys. Get your tickets, register now, get your team over there, be there, because somebody who signs up this week is going to actually get 3 months of operations manual intensive coaching with our consulting team. So hop on over, guys. It's going to be Friday, September 17th, 6 CE credits for you and your team. Come workshop style. Let's get this operations manual done. Let's level it up. Let's make sure it's used. Right now with hiring and onboarding, we thought this was the best way we could give back to you and your practices. So head on over to thedentaleteam.com and I will see you guys Friday, September 17th. That's a really fun story. And something I love about you in dental marketing is that you actually were in the dental practice. So you get it, you breathe it, you've done it. A lot of marketing companies have never been in the dental practice. And as fun as that is to not be in there, I feel like there's so much value to having been in there. It's one of the reasons, Dental Team, I love what we do for our consulting, because we don't say we just understand you. Like we don't just know you. Like we've literally been you. We know you. We know your world. We've done that, like insurance verification. I got you. It's such a bad day when you're like, I've been on hold for 30 minutes and you want a treatment plan right now. Like I'll happily say yes and call them back for 30 minutes again. And so for you to understand that world really is awesome. So kind of walk us through some of I love to do tangibles on the podcast. And you know that you're the same way. Your book is chock full of lots of ideas. I took a ton of notes. I literally was on a plane. You guys, it's a very jam-packed book. If you're like me, I listen to books at 2.5 to 3 times the speed because I just think it's fun and I pay attention better. But I was like typing so fast on all the notes. I had a whole list of them. It was a flight that I was on, got through your entire book. It was awesome. So kind of walk us through right now, current, what are some of the marketing things that people can do that they can implement now that are going to get a big ROI? We only have so much time in our lives. So what are some of those things that you see? Because I know you market for a lot of different companies.
Yeah, it depends on what we want to start doing. I think one of the things that we absolutely want to do right now is what I would call is a peace of mind marketing. And I got that from, there is a wine place, because again, like I said, I live in a place with 160 vineyards. And I remember going to this vineyard and sipping wine with my husband a few months ago. And as soon as I walked in, they had a big sign that says peace of mind. And I'm like, how clever, how authentic. So they totally get the credit for this, for peace of mind, but a peace of mind marketing. And the way that I like to see that is COVID is apparently here to stay. It does not seem to want to go away. Nope. We are now getting back. Every time we are like, yes, we are going over this. Like, nope, I'm here. I'm still
here.
Good.
Did you forget about me? I'm still here. I'm still here, actually.
I'm still here. So, one of the things that I've been having a lot of my clients in the dental field do is start creating this peace of mind marketing. Now, the peace of mind marketing, the way it works is that you have to be able to give your patients exactly what they need so that they feel comfortable coming to your practice. So I'll give you a perfect example of this. Let's say that we are working with I'm assuming we have a lot of GP practices, right? Let's say that Somebody in here wants to make sure that their current patients and their potential patients, they want to bring in somebody who is about 38 to 40 years old. So somebody who is a young family, possibly has a family or wants to attract that family. Usually they want to attract or target decision makers tend to be women. So they want to try and do that, right? So let's say that you look at your patient roster and you say that you have somebody called Samantha. Samantha is 38 years old. She loves you guys. She's been coming to you guys for a few years. Her family loves you. And she's just somebody who, every time she comes in, oh, you guys are the best. You're amazing. She writes a good review. She's amazing. Well, what you want to do is you want to call Samantha and say, hey, Samantha, we know that you've been a long-term patient for us, and we want to ask you for a favor. Would you help us just spread the word out that it's safe to be here? If you'd be willing to do that, we would love to do that. And Samantha, because she loves you guys already, she's gonna be like, sure, yeah, I'm gonna be coming in for my appointment anyway, so why not? Well, the way you do this is you make a less than 2 minute, this is a very specific strategy. You're going to make a less than 2 minute video of Samantha checking in to checking out. Now, in this video, you are going to show how your patients are currently checking in. If it's touchless payments, if they are filling the forms online, are they checking in the car? Are they checking in the waiting room? Are your furniture spread apart? Do you have shields wearing? What is going on? What is your protocol right now? So you show that Samantha comes in, checks in. You see that, there is already like marks. Things are clean where she has to stand. An assistant comes in. They're all covered head to toe. They're good to go. Now they're moving through. Well, you do that. You show a very quick thing of the hygienist setting up their room and also making sure that it's all cleaned up. Again, it doesn't have to be focused on everything, but just the fact that instruments are being opened in front of the patient, just the fact that the hygienist has wearing the N95 mask, the whole thing, right? And then as you go through, you have the checkout process as well. Samantha checks out. There's touchless payment. She just has to put her card there. You give her a pen that she takes home. It's not the same pen that somebody uses at well. So you zoom in on the pen that she writes in and then she puts it in her purse. So you are being very clever and slick about what it is that you're showing. But at the same time, you're telling people what is expected and what they should know about coming to your practice. And then this is a key point. The end of this, you ask Samantha 5 questions. And you start with question number 1. And you say, Samantha, how was your appointment today? Just a very easy question. How was your appointment today? Oh, you know what? I saw Kiara. It was great. I had my dental hygiene appointment. I feel so much better now. I haven't been able to see the dentist in 6 months. My work has changed to stay at home now. So I am munching all day and I'm drinking sodas and I'm so glad I was seen today. Oh man, Kiara did such a wonderful job. I just love her. She's such a great hygienist. Wonderful. Question number 2. Did you feel safe being at the practice today? Was this comfortable for you? Absolutely. They sent me all the forms beforehand. It was so easy. I was taken back. I did not feel anything at all. I felt more safe being here than being at Target and walking around trying to buy a dress. Wonderful. Question number 3. What would you say? Would you think, there are so many people right now who need dental care because, again, whatever you eat goes into your body. And right now, our health is a priority. What would you say to them about going to the dentist? Come to the dentist, guys. Absolutely come to the dentist. What are you doing? Come on over here. This is so great, right? And then the 4th question, and this question, again, you have to be you're almost making an entire speech from Samantha, right? And you asked Samantha and you said, hey, Samantha, thank you so much for that. Would you recommend your family and friends to our practice? Oh, I've been recommending everybody to you from the longest time. You won't believe it. It's been so great. All my family and friends loves you guys. Everybody come on in. It's safe to be here. Now, what you are doing is that you're asking Samantha specific questions. When you're editing the video, you remove those questions. So now it's only Samantha speaking. So it almost says, hi, I had my appointment with Kiara today. It was such a wonderful appointment. Thank you so much, Kiara, for making sure my smile is healthy and beautiful. I absolutely felt safe being here. I felt more safe being here than going grocery shopping. Everything was clean. Everything was amazing. All the team members were following all the protocols. I recommend my family and friends to come to this practice all the time. I've been a patient for 10 years now, and I absolutely love it. So you see, now you have this video that is showing the entire quick appointment in less than 2 minutes, and it ends with Samantha talking about how wonderful she feels being at your practice. Now that's the video you put on YouTube, put on your website, you email it to your patients, you send that out as an attachment when you send your welcome email to your potential new patients. That's an example of peace of mind marketing, because there's only so much you can say that lets people know that your practice is safe, that you're following the guidelines, that it's safe to be at your practice than to go grocery shopping. because you don't have to touch that celery that somebody else does touch, and you have to put it in your bag and you have to bring it to you don't have to do that, because we even give you a pen that you take back with you. We are being so careful with everything, right? Like, it's safer for you to be here, but you can't keep saying that because you sound like a broken record. You need somebody else to say that, and you need somebody else who other people can reflect in. That's why I said, choose a patient in the age group that you usually see. If you see a lot of seniors, if you're an implant practice, or if you see a lot of seniors, then choose a senior. But the strategy is to find somebody who loves you, who will do this for you, and then making sure that you put those key points in place so people know exactly what they're seeing, and then ending it with a testimonial that lets people know how safe and amazing it is to be at your practice. So something you can do this tomorrow, guys. Like, go look at your patient base, do this tomorrow. Super easy to do.
Hey, Dental A Team family. As some of you know, I've recently found and become obsessed with one of my favorite companies out there, Studio 8E8. They are incredible. Josh and Joanna and their team make marketing simple, fun, effective, and affordable. You guys, they just finished a website for me and I am obsessed. They figured out exactly what I wanted to share without even knowing what I wanted. And their process was so simple. So Studio 88 is dentistry's story-driven marketing agency. They started in 2014 by Joshua Scott, owner and CEO. And their mission is to tell a better story. Josh says, marketing becomes great when it's true. Dentistry is innovative, inspiring, and beautiful. Let's tell that story. And I will tell you guys from firsthand, I love working with them. They are so freaking fantastic. They're on time, they're fast, they're efficient, and they deliver better and better and better results. So what they do is they're focused on the digital space. They lead each client through their proprietary process, which includes discovering your story, telling your story, and sharing your story with your community. They do a combination of high-end custom design with storytelling messaging. They create marketing that's truly unique to you. And their tagline is, because your story is worth it. So you guys, I would love you to go check out my dear friends, Josh and Joanna with Studio 88. You can check them out on their website at www.s8e8. That's the letter S, the number 8, the letter E, number 8.com. Studio 8E8. They're incredible. You guys will love them. And Josh and Joanna, thank you guys so much for all of your support of the Dental A Team. And you guys, be sure to go get your story told because your story is worth it. I love that. I was very intrigued the whole time you were saying that because I think we often make marketing too hard. We think it's going to take all this time, all this effort, but that's a very simple thing. And I loved how you took that video and repurposed it into so many areas. Cause I was thinking like, oh, have her put it on her social feed, but you literally took it to like, send it to your new patient, send it to your newsletter, send it to, put it on your YouTube channel, put it on your website. Like that's four places.
Here's a pro tip, right? Send it to Samantha.
Agreed. Cause she's going to
blast
it out.
Samantha is a star now. She's going to blast it out. If somebody featured me in a video, like I would be blasting it out everywhere. And everybody's like, where's Samantha? My dentist doesn't give me a pen that I can take home. My dentist doesn't have touchless payments. My dentist doesn't do that. And now you just got somebody else's patient.
Yes, you did. I love that because you're right. And I think one of the biggest things I've learned from you is to make sure that your marketing is very timely. Like do the things that people need to know right now. Like you said, have this be peace of mind and letting patients know because patients are scared. COVID's here. So how do we help patients who used to come all the time? I mean, there's a lot of people who have like just walled up and stayed home and they still have not really come out of their shells because they're very afraid of it. Those are the people we need to get back in. So I love that you say like go after the issue at hand and stay very relevant. So if an office was wanting to get more new patients, that tends to be a very popular topic. What would you say for market? What are some of the things like where do they go? Should they be doing SEO? Should they be doing pay-per-click? Should they be doing a referral process inside? And like, I think that that's where marketing almost feels daunting because it's like, where do I actually start? So do you have any tips on where people can start, how they can know what to do first? Maybe I'm asking for myself, just side note.
No, absolutely. You know, this is why my book is called Why Your Marketing is Killing Your Business. I am a firm believer that whatever marketing you're doing right now, you could reduce it by 20%. So I am rebellious in that nature where people would usually say, you have to do everything, you have to be everywhere, you have to get everything done. No, stop. Here's the truth. All marketing works and all marketing doesn't work. I have practices who literally survive on Google. I have practices that don't have any Google searches whatsoever and are doing just fine, making millions of dollars. And their social media presence is zero, absolutely
Mm-hmm.
zero. Then I have some practices who have been there for such a long time that they don't have to spend any money on marketing because their referral system is so strong. Then I have practices who spend literally $10,000 just on SEO and Google ads just so that they can make money. So it's not about which marketing platform should I do. It's about what marketing platform are your patients at looking at. So if you are trying to target, depending on who your patient base is, right? I always talk about this, and I have this in my book too, and I always say, who is your who? So if you're trying to attract somebody, let's say who are in the baby boomer generation, and that generation tends to be a big part of our patient base because they need the implants, they need the full rehabs, they need all that cosmetic work, right? These are the people who need that. The younger population are the bread and butter. They are the ones coming for hygiene recares. They are the ones coming in for the fillings, right? But the big cases, the big treatment cases, are usually the population that need the big cases. Now, if you're going after that population, you need to understand how that population is reacting to your marketing. If you expect my dad to sit there and work on a chatbot, he's going to hate you immediately. And he does not want to be there with you. But if you tell him that, hey, you know what? I have Sarah here, and Sarah is going to be your go to person, and you can call Sarah, and Sarah has this wonderful, patient, happy personality that she's going to answer all the questions, go through everything with my dad. You have him. He will come to your practice. Now, compared to that, let's say that you are in a place where you have a lot of young generation, very tech savvy generation. Somebody like me, for example, I don't want to talk to a person. Give me a chat box, send me a message. Don't call me. Like, don't even call me. If you call me and we don't have a call schedule, there is a 98% chance I will not be picking up that phone call. I say this out to everybody. They make fun of me, but I say, schedule a call if we got a chat, but send me an email, shoot me a message. It's very easy to connect because that's what I prefer. So it's not about what marketing a practice should focus on. It's about what marketing are their patients connecting with. And once we have that, everything is easy. I have practices who use print mailers. People tell me print is dead, right? People are always like, no, print is dead. Do not do print. Do not do print. I can name you so many practices whose entire marketing is print mailers, and they are multi-million-dollar practices. And they're doing just fine. So all marketing works, all marketing does not work. Which generation are you trying to attract? Who are your potential patients? And then let's say wherever they are hanging out is where we go. Okay. And that's as simple as that.
So then that's going to lead to another question. I just pulled up all my notes on my phone from your book. And one of the big pieces that you had in there, I love that you said like connect versus market. So see how you can connect versus market, which I think is what you're talking about. And then you also talked about quality over quantity. And then you also had us break it down because I like worked through here and you're like, who is your superhero customer? And like really figuring that out. And that was where I was going to lead because a lot of people say, well, Manal, we actually want every patient. And I'm like, no, you actually don't. I'm not Manal, but I'll tell you that Manal will tell you you don't actually want every single patient. So how do offices decide? I kind of like teed up a few of your pieces from your book. How do offices decide who their ideal patient is? I know that sounds silly, but they really just think
no. I mean, this is a really good question because I do get that a lot. They're like, I just spoke at a conference over the weekend, and they literally, I had them all do their new patient avatar exercise during my workshop, and I literally had somebody say, I want to attract. I see patients from age 2 to 85. And I'm like, that's great, but that just means we have to now build 5 different avatars, and we'll make sure that all of that match, right? So the way you decide who you want to attract is 3 different ways. The first way is if you've been in your practice for a long time and you have been seeing patients. So for example, Samantha, and you know that Samantha has chosen you for a reason and you want to bring more people like Samantha. So if you already know somebody that comes to your practice and they are the kind of people that you wake up every morning and be like, Samantha's coming in today, it's going to be a great day. I can't wait to find out what's going on, right? Then you know who Samantha is, what she likes, what she dislikes, where she hangs out, how she makes her buying decisions, what she loves about your practice. Then you can just replicate that in your marketing so that you can start making sure that other Samanthas find your practice because they have similarities in general, right? Mm-hmm. That's the first way of looking at it. The second way of looking at it is what is in the book where I talk about building your avatar. And with building your avatar, you literally build the person you want to target for your practice. I do this all the time because as soon as I build that avatar, and the key point, as I mentioned in the book, is to name that avatar. I have different avatars that I attract for my business. And this is where connection lies, is because if I don't know who I am trying to connect with, then how am I going to figure that out? So I literally build an ideal avatar with their age group, their likes, their dislikes, where they live, their workplace, and I make them real. They exist. And because they exist, like one of my avatars' name is Claire. And Claire is about 45 years old. She is a dentist. She's specifically a pediatric dentist. She has kids of her own. She lives in the United States because it's, for me, for all over. But she's somebody who's active in Facebook groups. She's somebody who goes and stalks Instagram pages. She's also somebody who's very vocal about things that are happening in the community. Now, if I'm trying to target Claire to join Marketologist or to become a part of my business, then I know that I need to make sure that I have marketing that is inside Facebook groups. I need to make sure that she's very vocal and has other friends. So where can I build connection pieces where I know that she's going to know that? I know that she's a mom and she's a pediatric dentist herself. So as a mom, I know that I have to connect with her on pieces that are important to her. Children, what is she doing? How did she get there? So now that I know what Claire likes and I know how Claire reacts and connects to different marketing, I produce just that, so that Claire gets exactly what she's looking for. Now, so that's the second way. It's you build your ideal avatar, and if you are able to build your ideal avatar, and then you exactly know where they think, right? Like one of my avatars for my company is also Sam, and Sam is a 55-year-old business owner who has a company that's been there for 5 years, and they're looking to level up. Sam is a consultant, coach, and speaker, and has a company that he is ready to bring up to the next level. Now, Sam has his likes and dislikes. He's not necessarily on the social media world, but he's very much into the conference world. So he's very much aware at conferences. He goes to different conferences, things like that. Then I know that, hey, that's what's going on. I need to then be at a conference where Sam is going to be, and I need to produce what Sam thinks is good for marketing. So you see, you kind of start building it. You do the same thing with patients. So that's the second way of looking at it. And then the third way of looking at it is kind of replicating it based on not what's coming to your practice or not what you want to attract, but based on your product or your service. What does your product and your service solve? So for example, if you're trying to market dental implants, who are dental implants for? So you reverse engineer your product or your service, and now you know who you want to attract. Mm-hmm. So if you know that your dental implants are for this population, because you have data on it, you've been doing it, you know the people that come for it, you know the people who pay for it. If the people need full mouth rehab, who are the people who need full mouth rehab? So you reverse engineer your product and your service, and now you know who to market to and how to market because you know who they are.
I like it. I like it a lot. And I'm going to spin that because you mentioned you have quite a few different avatars. A lot of practices have quite a few different avatars. And so in my mind, I'm a very methodical person in some ways, and then I'm also like downright crazy chaos sometimes too. And on this I'm like, okay, how do I make this into a system? So I was like, okay, Monday goes to Claire, Tuesday goes to Sam, Wednesday goes to Claire. So how do you actually market? Because I'm thinking of like building out posts and building out newsletters. How do you market when you have a couple different avatars that you want to attract into your practice? Or does that defeat the purpose that you should pretty much just focus on one? How do you kind of mix that around if you've got a couple different avatars you do want to market to and attract to your practice?
So you want to focus on one specific avatar at one time. What I always suggest is to do 6-week campaigns. Okay, now your campaigns could be 3 weeks long or your campaigns could be 6 weeks long during a year. And depending on how many avatars you have. Here's what happens. When you lose focus, when you're not focused on one specific, and I have tried this many, many times, right? I speak, I have a book, I have workshops, I have marketologists, I have a pediatric course, I have this and this and this. And we have tried where we throw everything out because we are like, let's just show people all the stuff that we are doing. And it's like, they're like, oh my God, they feel overwhelmed by looking at all the stuff that you're doing and you're missing out the whole point. The way that I have seen success, and this is for all businesses, including dental practices, is you focus on one specific thing. So I always figure out and say, okay, are we going with avatar 1, which is replication of your current avatar, or your brand new avatar, or your product or service? Let's go ahead and build campaigns around each. And then for that specific amount of time, that's our zone. That's our goal. So if our avatar is going to be a bride who needs cosmetic work, And again, if we time it accordingly with the wedding season, then literally for 3 weeks, all we are talking about are brides who need cosmetic work and what we are going to do with that. So let's say we were to shift it to implants now, and we are going to specifically focus on implants because that's a product, a service we provide. Then we specifically focus on product and implants for X amount of time. Now that is front-facing marketing. So this means this is a front-facing marketing that goes on your social media. This is a front-facing marketing that goes via your email marketing, right? This is a front-facing marketing there. So there's front-facing marketing and there's back marketing. Now, in your back marketing, clearly you have your website company who always has keywords for your implants and your whitening and your full mouth rehabs and all of that. So the digital stuff, which requires coding and stuff, which is the back marketing with the links and everything else that you're trying to do, all of that is always on consistently. But the front-facing marketing, where you are directly connecting with people using your website, your email marketing, your social media, internally, if you're trying to do a campaign, let's say, I mean, right now it's going to be back to school because it's September, right? So if you're trying to figure out something to do for September, then focus on that. Your front-facing should be super focused on that. And that way, anybody who goes to your page or whatever they're doing, they know what's happening. Mm-hmm. They know who you're trying to attract at that time.
I love it. Okay, Manal, my last question for you as we wrap it up is, I think a lot of people get scared of marketing. Maybe I'm speaking again to myself, because it's very hard sometimes to see the ROI of marketing. So how can people tell if their marketer is a good marketer or if they should be looking for a different marketer? Like, what do you tell people? How do you know that you're actually seeing results from your marketing?
Revenue.
Bottom line.
There's no other way.
All right. How long before they should see those results? I like your style because I'm the same way. I'm like, if we're going to work together, you better see an ROI. And if you're not, then like kick us to the curb. Like that is something I pride ourselves on heavily. So they should be seeing like more new patients, higher revenue, things like that. Right. How long should it take?
I don't think, I'm not sure if it's specifically, depending on, again, are you looking for more new patients or production, right? So this is why I have a chapter called Quality Over Quantity. Sometimes with marketing, we do get stuck on this idea of I need 2,000 followers and I need X amount of people who like my post and I need 85 new patients or whatever it is, right? But realistically, I could have a post that only has, I could have an account that only has 800 followers, but my engagement is off the roof. I'm totally okay with that. So it's understanding what goal it is that you're trying to reach and then measuring that goal. For some practices, I have practices who take all the insurances in the world and they really just want new patient numbers because that's how they make money. Then I have fee-for-service practices who don't want to see a lot of new patients. They are very specific on their fee-for-service. They're specific for their treatment. I have some practices who only do implants and full mouth rehabs, and that's all they care to see. And they are totally okay with 10 new patients a month. They're totally fine with that. So the number game, I don't like to get stuck on the number. I like to get stuck on the goal. What is my goal and did I achieve that goal? And that is true for even if you were to simply do a social media contest. And in your social media contest, you are like, you know what, let's do a teacher appreciation week. Schools are starting again. Well, what is your goal with your teacher appreciation week? What is it that you're trying to do? And once you have that goal, if you achieve that goal, it was successful. If you don't achieve that goal, then let's pivot, change it up, try it again.
I like it. So Manal, how do you work with offices? Do you do like monthly coaching with them? Do you just kind of shake it up? How do you kind of work with offices?
I have 3 different plans that I work with offices for. Clearly, there is a 101 marketing strategy plan where I take a look at everything that they're doing. I work with a team member inside the practice. So it's very important to me that you have somebody inside the practice that I can work with, that I can coach, that I can train, because as a hygienist, I truly believe that everything in your marketing happens internally. And if I can't be at your practice internally, I cannot, I will not charge you for that to manage it. So I want somebody inside your practice who can do that. So I have a marketing strategy plan where I go over everything. I train, I teach, I coach, including social media, internal, external, community marketing, the whole thing. My goal, as I said, my goal is to reduce your marketing expense and increase production. That's what it is. The second thing is social media coaching. I have a lot of practices who specifically want to work for social media only. And I have a whole system around that, and we do that too. And then the third one is Marketologist. So Marketologist is an online marketing strategy school where I teach live sessions every month. So there's live sessions, there's Q&A sessions, you also get one-on-one sessions with me, there's recorded sessions, there is every single kind of marketing you can think of. There is KOLs inside it. There are people who are teaching inside it. There's resources and worksheets and swag, and it's a very cohesive, huge thing. But Marketologist is right for people who want to learn at their pace, but also it's done with you. It's not done for you, or it's not done by yourself. It's done with you. So it's just a great way. I like that people will send me an email at midnight and they'll be like, hey, Manal, so I was just in this, course and I just saw this, what you said over here, da, da, da. Can we talk about this in our next one-on-one session? I'm like, yes. So I didn't have to repeat myself because they already looked at the information, but they knew exactly what they wanted to go over in that information, and they can do that one-on-one. So it's just I am like you. I like to have checklists and methods and a system. So it's very systematic, which is what I love about it.
Yes, I love it. I love it so much. So Manal, you are just a wealth of knowledge. It was so fun to chat with you. Guys, check her out. Manal, if people want to connect with you, they just are interested in it. I know you specialize in dentists, which is why I really wanted you on the podcast. You've got the dental background behind you. How can people connect with you?
Manalsampat.com, MINALSAMPAT.com is my website. That's where you can find all the amazing stuff that's there. Marketologist, which is marketologist.com. You can find that. But really, connect with me. If you want to connect with me, go to Facebook, look up Manal Sampat. You will see a photo of me in a great dress. Send me a friend request. Send me a Facebook message. Seriously, just connect. If I'm going to preach about connection, I need to be able to connect as well. So send me a friend request. Send me a hello via message. Let me know you heard about this on the podcast. If you have questions, I'm more than happy to answer it. I just love to talk to people and connect with them. So yeah, just let's be Facebook friends.
I like it. I like it. Manal, you're so fun. It's so fun to hang out with you. It's fun to chat with you. I'm so happy to share you. Guys, her book was fantastic. It's on Amazon. So if you want to check that out, Your Marketing is Killing Your Business. Manal Sampat, you guys can go check her out. All those different ways. And if you guys are struggling with marketing, go for it. I also say take a lot of things she said in this podcast. It was jam-packed with tacticals. You guys know we're tactical, practical on this podcast. So try it out. I just encourage you to take one thing, have your team listen to this podcast. You guys can take it, implement it. It's not hard. Remind yourself, I believe that you are one small decision from a completely different life. So take that decision today, have a completely different life. And Manal, thank you for being on the podcast. It was such an honor and a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, guys, that wraps it up. And I will thank you so much for listening. And I'll catch you next time on the Dental A-Team podcast. All right, Dental A-Team listeners, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for listening. And if you loved today's podcast, go leave us a review. It takes you 5 seconds, and your review helps more offices, more practices, more team members just like you find out about the Dental A-Team. Thank you guys so much for being part of my Dental A-Team family.